I'll go ahead and start with a quick intro. I feel like most of the people that will be watching this know who I am already, but in case you don't, my name is Rich. I work with the Rebuy Partnerships team. I've been with the company now for about 3 years. I started on the merchant facing side, basically helping some of our biggest brands with implementation, strategy, optimization, all of that. Prior to Rebuy, I was at Shopify for about 4 years. Started in support, kind of climbed my way through there, worked with exclusively Plus clients after that, and then was on the point of sale retail team. So, yeah, lots of experience in the space. Super excited to welcome our guest today and to be talking about Rebuy Monetize. If you're not familiar with Rebuy Monetize yet, this is one of our newest product additions, and we do have the team from Fluent here who will be walking us through some of the ways that agencies have found success working with this, also what the setup process looks like, and how brands are leveraging this to add even more incremental revenue, and the ways in which they can leverage that revenue, especially ahead of BFCM, to get themselves set up for success. So I'd love to welcome Alberto from the Fluent team. If you want to go ahead and just give us a quick intro, we can go ahead and get started there.
Hey everybody, I'm Alberto. As Rich mentioned, I'm from the Fluent team. So we've partnered with Rebuy to launch the official Rebuy Monetize powered by Fluent product, which we're incredibly excited about. So yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm the Senior Director of Channel Partnerships here at Fluent. And my role really since this partnership was announced is to work with Rebuy in every facet of this partnership to make sure that both teams are collaborating, both teams are communicating and really just facilitating the success of the partnership. Prior to Fluent, I was on the advertiser side at a company called Super.com. I was also prior to even that, I was on the e-com side, on the brand side, running a website called dailysteals.com. So I do have, the merchant Shopify background, even though it has been quite a few years. But yeah, let me, as Rich mentioned, um, I know you're all very familiar with Rich and Rebuy. You might not be as familiar with myself or Fluent. Fluent's been around for 15 years, right? We're a publicly traded company, but we've had our hands in a multitude of different performance marketing products, right? So we are a performance marketing company. That's what we've been since our inception. That's what we are at our core. Uh, we do have a multitude of business units. We have owned and operated sites that we run. We have, a call solutions team. We have a lot of different products. Really, our commerce media team, which is what the Rebuy Monetize product works with, is what I work on, what my business unit does, and it's essentially for the context of this conversation, right? We like our commerce media product is the Rebuy Monetize powered by Fluent product. So what is that? That is what we launched about 3 years ago, based on merchant partner demand, right? Um, it was a it's a it was a very successful space, and that merchants were seeing other merchants doing. So, it came out of almost like a request from an existing very large partner. And that's how we got started, right? So what exactly is our commerce media solution? What exactly is Rebuy Monetize? To put it simply, it is a way to add incremental, completely additional revenue on your thank you page and order status page. So, you know, that is historically a pretty underutilized real estate. Your customer has already placed an order, right? They got you got them where they wanted to go, right? You got them to convert, you got them to purchase your product. Um, the thank you page is quite frankly, right? Like it's visual confirmation, right? It's mostly for a customer to just see, hey, our my order went through, my credit card was processed, cool, all set. So what we do, what Rebuy Monetize does is it powers very targeted. Oh, 1 second.
There we go. I think you should be able to share now as well. There we go.
I've been promoted.
You've been promoted. Welcome.
Promoted to
There we
panel.
go.
Hey everybody, this is me. Awesome. All right, so just let me cut mid-sentence here because I do have I've got the presentation that goes along with what I've just been saying. I think really just to start quickly and from the top, uh, we obviously we've got a large core business outside of our partnership with Rebuy. Um, these are some of the brands we work with um, on the advertiser side and on the partner side. So going back to what I was just saying about, we power these third-party flagship advertiser offers on your thank you page. These are the types of offers you would see, right? You would see offers from HelloFresh, from Disney Plus, Apple, SoFi. So these are, as you can imagine, right, household names, trusted names. Um, for lack of a more technical term, you're not getting a ton of random, sketchy, clickbait type of ads, right? We really like to promote these as offers because they are value-added offers. Some of our existing large partners outside of Shopify, Vivid Seats, Bath and Body Works, Belk, Fanatics, right? And obviously Fanatics does run a lot of the major sporting league e-com sites. Dick's Sporting Goods is added to this list, which is obviously one we're proud to partner with. So what does the experience look like? Here's a very quick mock-up. Again, it's you're going to hear me say this over and over again. It's an offer, right? It's really not an ad. It is natively embedded. It matches the styling of your merchant, your color palette, your font. Um, it's purposely made to feel very seamless in that thank you page. We don't want to bother your users. We don't want them to feel like blindsided by some random offers. These are very targeted, personalized, and they feel and look native and not interrupting.
I love it. And then so also with this, I mean, I feel like a lot of times when I order online, I mean, with the exception of now, with I guess the shop app kind of aggregates everything in there. But people who go back to the thank you page, does this live there in kind of perpetuity as long as the page exists? Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So on and I'll show you the live example in a little bit. As
Yeah.
as you know, once you see the thank you page, even if you refresh it, right, it turns into the order status page, which is very similar. But yes, this also can live in the order status page, which we recommend for, like you said, sort of those residual views for people coming back to confirm something or to check tracking, things like that. Um, so a key feature, right? Personalization. You obviously you don't you don't want every customer is not the same. Every customer is not going to react the same to every offer. So one of the things that really distinguishes Fluent from other solutions is our identity graph, right? So having been in the space for 15 years, especially with our owned and operated sites, we've collected over 200 million first-party data profiles. So these are data profiles that we own from users that have come into our owned and operated sites and entered their information in our sites. This is not data that we've purchased or shared. This is our data. So we use this data along with third-party data connectors like Experian to really hone in on exactly who the customer is, and what offer they are most likely to resonate with, right? So we do that through our identity graph as well as obviously like large learning models, and our very intelligent large engineering team that works on all this stuff that is above my head.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I love that. And I noticed too also like when the implementation process, like it really is that simple to get these as targeted and hyper personalized as, kind of what you're mentioning. I feel like the setup process couldn't be any easier. It's like you select, I think it's two categories in which you would categorize your brand or, the demographic that you're selling to. And then from there, using the models that you've built, all of a sudden now you're getting relevant ads, not just like like you said, something that's just super random kind of thrown out there, which is
Yeah. Yeah, and the way we do that is sort of to fast track our learning model, right? So if say you're a merchant in specialty retail travel goods, right? So you sell travel backpacks or the luggage. Um, we want you to not start from scratch if there are other retailers in your category that are also showing ads. So our system will optimize specifically for your audience.
yeah.
But obviously, until it learns from your audience, it starts to your point, right? You select your category, your subcategory, and then the system already knows, okay, this is a merchant in travel goods. Let's look at our existing travel goods traffic and start from there, and then optimize to your specific audience because there are categories, there are subcategories, but every merchant is different. And I think that's awesome because you're obviously fast tracking the learnings, but you're still learning and optimizing to that specific merchant, which is very cool.
That's awesome. And then based off of your network, let's say, will you prioritize what is most likely to convert in the sense of like, will you display ads that you find are, getting clicked the most? Or like how does that work in terms of, the success rate? Or is it more so just kind of randomized to cycle through the entire network of relevant partners for you?
It's it optimizes by conversion, right?
Cool.
So it's not just the click. Obviously, our advertisers wouldn't be happy if we're just driving clicks that don't
Yeah, yeah.
convert. Um, so it's not just about click through. It's did they click? Did they subscribe? We're constantly optimizing with our advertisers, not even just initial subscription, right? Or did they make that initial purchase? It's LTV, right? A lot of our partners, as you saw, think Hulu and Disney Plus.
Hmm.
Not just, hey, did they sign up for the service? It's 3 months later, are they still signed on, right? Like what's the churn rate of our user cohorts?
Cool.
Um, because that's really the key, right? The advertisers pay top dollar because we drive customers of the highest retention. And this is across the board. This is advertiser feedback across the board. So yeah, to your point, um, it's a mix, right? You optimize for click. You want to make sure the click-through rate is healthy so that they have enough users to then go down to the funnel to convert. But ultimately, it's these long-term down funnel events that really make the advertiser give the advertiser a good sense of lifetime value. That's what we're always optimizing for.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. And honestly, you guys have built something, again, relevant, effective. I think right now, especially in this space and the time that we live in, brands are so conscious about what they're spending money on, what tools and products they're investing in to optimize their online store, to optimize the user experience. And this is something again that is included with every Rebuy plan. So any merchant and brand can use this free of
Yeah.
charge. And we're looking at anywhere from if you're processing, let's say, 1,000 orders per month, the anticipated estimated, let's say, monthly ad revenue that you can incrementally drive to your bottom line would be around 350 bucks. So,
Yeah.
when it comes to the agencies that are watching this and, why should I be using this? I think, again, brands are becoming very privy to AI tooling. And we have to have things like, Shopify, not editions. What is that called? Horizon, that theme. We've got Shopify Sidekick. So there's a lot of things that brands are now being able to do themselves. But when I think of something like this actually pads the pockets of the brands that are working with agencies so that again, they can offset the cost of those services. They can offset the cost of that strategy that they're hiring the agency to do. So from an agency perspective, I see this hugely beneficial because again, you can almost help to absorb some of the cost of what it is that you're offering these brands and allow yourself to be stickier, drive more value, drive more revenue. So to me, I think again, things like post-purchase offers, Rebuy Monetize, checkout extensions, these are all things that you cannot capture without a tool like Rebuy. So when it comes to realizing the value of certain tech partners, certain tech providers, certain integrations, those are the ones that I always usually start with. I always kind of start with post-purchase and work our way backwards because again, once they see the value and the revenue that's driven from these products, all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, what else can this tool do? And we kind of then go into the whole on-site integration. But yeah, this is fantastic. So can you just give us an idea of what this actual setup process looks like?
Yeah, I will. Just two more very important call outs.
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, on the data side, right? We we use we use a lot of rich data to power this personalization. I cannot stress this enough, and we have this is all pretty transparent, even in the Rebuy Monetize help docs. Um, we are buttoned up compliant wise. We don't store data, we don't share data. The data that we get, like the user email that we get to identify is hashed. We use it strictly to target in that moment when the widget is loaded, and that's it, right? We're not storing this data to commingle it elsewhere. So we are incredibly sensitive about our partner data. And we're compliant with industry standards. So really just want to call that out because it's important, right? It's important. If you work with you don't want to work with a solution that isn't as buttoned up, and obviously nobody plans to get hacked. But this stuff happens, right? So having everything hashed, not stored, is huge for our merchant's sake. And then lastly, really want to talk about the most common question we get from merchants is, what is this going to do to my brand? How is this going to affect Or my customer's gonna think like I'm selling out, or my customer's gonna think that I'm just running ads all over my site. Uh, the answer is very simply no. As you can see, because the ads are targeted, the advertisers are very reputable, and it's a very seamless experience. All of the research that we've done with partners, with very large partners, shows that worst case scenario, somebody doesn't click on the offer. That's literally it, right? There's no pitchforks, there's no anger, NPS studies, uh, churn, returning customer rates. None of it has had any impact. You can see a couple of quotes. Again, these are very large partners that you can imagine even a fraction of a drop in NPS score or returning customer rate is massive for them. So
Yeah.
this is very, very, very highly monitored. And again, seamless experience. Worst case scenario, somebody just scrolls, doesn't click on the offer, they go on with their day. It's really there really is no downside. Okay, so let's dive in. Um, this is my favorite little help doc. Rebuy, your team does such a good job of just, you know, doing screen shares, doing videos, step-by-step guides on how to set this up.
Shout out
You,
Christian.
go ahead.
I said shout out Christian for building.
Oh, shout out Christian. Yes, I thought you said you have a question. Yeah, shout out Christian. He's very fast, and yeah, anytime we get additional feedback, he updates this document, so it is always up to date. It is incredibly helpful, and you can read if you like to just watch instead. This is a 2-minute video. It shows you step by step. I'm on one of my test stores, Rebuy Admin, so I'm just going to show you very quickly. On the left-hand tab, you have Rebuy Monetize. I already have the ad created, but you would see obviously create widget. You hit edit, right? So this takes you right here to the offer tile where, as you mentioned, you select your vertical, computer consumer electronics, sub vertical. Um, I put consumer electronics department store. And well, I can't hit save again because
Yeah,
I've already created it. I haven't made any changes, but
but this
uh,
is essentially what you would see the first time you open up Rebuy Monetize. It's literally that easy. You just select those two drop downs and then boom.
same. Yeah, that's it. So you've got the widget ID here. I think very similar to many other widgets that you're familiar with, right? If you hit Shopify, and this is where I'm not as familiar with, yeah, you get taken directly to the thank you page on your site. This is where it's handy. You copy this widget ID, and within your thank you page, if it loads, refuse to connect.
Thanks, Shopify. But yeah, so essentially this operates the same way that most of our widgets function in that they are app blocks. So once you figured out the placement, all you'll do is you'll just add in again the ad block, then you'll
Right.
use the Rebuy Smart component or you'll select Rebuy Smart component, you'll
Yeah,
copy
you go to
the
the
ID.
app here, you enter, right, you add the smart component, and I know this is already added, so you add it to the thank you page, obviously because we're at the thank you page, and then you've got it up here. I will, big disclaimer, you can put this as high or as low as you want. Obviously, if it's not on the top position, you can imagine again, people on the thank you page don't typically scroll.
Yeah.
So the revenue drops drastically if you have this down here or even below the fold. And then
And
the
also
same.
keeping that in mind on mobile as well, right? Like we're not going to have the whole
Okay.
screen visible. So it's like, it'll just like picture just the square footage of your iPhone, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, above the fold. I mean, with the test that we've done, it's like you might as well just not even use it if it's not going to be visible, right?
Yeah, exactly. And same thing on the order status page, right? You come down here. Actually, I don't think I have it on the order status page, so this is a great boom. See, add it on the order status page, widget ID. Um, do not hide this extension, obviously.
Yeah,
Bring it up. Oh, oh wait, I do have it on the. Sorry, it's already here.
that's all good.
Look at
It's
that.
that
Okay,
easy.
so it's already here. Yeah, no, it's already there.
Yeah.
Done. Um, and that's it. Literally, it's that easy. You hit save and you're live and you start seeing the revenue. Obviously, this is my test store, so don't judge me.
Yeah,
Uh,
no.
11 transactions, zero revenue, but yes, that it is that simple. Um, Do you, Rich, just keeping track of time? I can go through a live partner and just do a live order if we have
Yeah,
time.
let's do that. I think that's super beneficial just so we can get an idea of what the experience looks like. Again, like I love that you kind of made the call out where it's like this isn't a pop-up. It's not going to interrupt or impede on the actual purchase process. It's very, very integrated. It's very seamless. I think that with Rebuy in general, our goal is to make sure that your customers don't feel like they're integrating with an app or sorry, interacting with an app. We don't want
Yeah,
them to feel like they're being sold at. We don't want them to feel like they're being pressured into anything. This is really just optimizing and creating experiences that are really becoming commonplace. And I think that we've all interacted. It's actually funny when I was in the airport on my last trip, when I went to go and pay my bill, I got one of these. It was like powered by Fluent, kind of, right on my receipt. So it's like, was I bothered by it? No. In fact, I was just kind of like, oh my God, this is happening everywhere now. So it's like, whether it's you or another brand, the reality is customers are starting to expect this sort of thing. So to be able to cash in on this and to be able to take advantage of it, I think is just, it's kind of like the next step of how we interact with customers and how we create experiences that are relevant. Again, if you're providing an experience and suggesting
exactly.
something that they enjoy, who wouldn't want to click on that, right? If I can save a bit of money
Relevance
and get a
is
trial, an extended trial, yeah.
relevance is the key, and I'll tell you, it's very interesting. Every merchant has a unique user base, so it varies. That there are, I'll be completely transparent. There are a very small handful of merchants where like their users just don't interact, right? They
Yeah.
don't interact. But for a lot of users, for the successful ones, we see click-through rates of like 15%, right? Which is incredibly healthy if you think about it. And again, to your point, relevance, right? Relevance is the key. It's a valuable offer. It's relevant, so it gets high click-through rate. All right, so we're at Blenders here. I'm gonna do this as fast as possible. Oh wow, they've got Prime sunglasses now. Good for them. Very cool. Um, I, don't necessarily want to spend $80 right now for sunglasses. I have quite a few, but I'm just gonna sort by lowest
Oh, quick
price.
sales section. There we go.
Wait, hold on. I thought there were accessories, maybe not. Oh yeah, here we go. Accessories. There we go. An $8 Peggy sleeve. I ain't hard to find either. This is great. Yeah, I'm not sure what this means, but I like it.
Who is Peggy?
She is Peggy Copham, the 99-year-old Colorado Buff superfan. Cool. Yeah,
Ah.
let's give Peggy some love. Beautiful bundle and save here from Rebuy. Smart cart. Beautiful. So same thing, right? You see like Rebuy Monetize doesn't affect any sort of conversion flow, conversion funnel. Um, there, everything's set up. Sign me up for offers, shipping total, right? Pay now.
Also, shop pay. That's gonna be the death of me, I promise you. It's just
Yeah, it's too easy.
way too easy to shop now.
It is too easy. Very easy. So that's it, right? So this is a good call out. The post-purchase offers are still prioritized, right? This is the merchant's own product, so like this is what you want to see first. So I decline the offer. No, thank you. Hurry. You know what? No, thank you again. I'll decline this offer as well. Boom, you get to the thank you page right there, right? You're all set. Claim $10 cash back on today's purchase. If you are not interested in this, you can forfeit the $10. Then you get free delivery. I get targeted somewhat specific ads because I click on this a lot.
Yeah, it knows
Um,
what you want.
Tempo Home Chef is like a
Like a
yeah,
food delivery.
yeah, what's
Like
like
how
HelloFresh, like a HelloFresh type of
See,
program.
like this is like I would who I don't know. For me, I'm just like, yes, absolutely. I'm kind of a sucker for those. I feel like in Toronto, there's like probably 100 of those different services. I've tried them all. So to like get served up an offer like
Well,
this, I
and
mean,
I think that to go back to a point we made earlier, right? It's where the advertisers know that because this call it like this ad space, this offer space is gated by a purchase. So only users who make a purchase actually get to see this offer. Because of that, they see that the lifetime value of these users is much higher than average. So I'll give you an example. I'm not as familiar with this, but just looking at the offer, 60% off your first Tempo box. maybe that's an offer you can get out in the wild, right? If you Google tempo, but 30% off for subsequent boxes, that's probably an added perk that they give our user base because again, they know this user base is gonna just have much longer, much better LTV.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean about valuable offers. Think of like trials, right? SiriusXM will give you a 3-day trial. With us, they'll give you a month trial.
Yeah.
These arbitrary examples, but they really they beef up the welcome offers because they know your customer is very, very valuable.
I love that. Yeah, and a quick Google here shows that the first box you get the same offer, but then afterwards it's 10% off. So I mean, like you said, they're adding an extra 20% just for, getting it through, one of these
Exactly.
people. So I think also it not only that, it creates a little bit more of a retention aspect for the brand. It's like, what other offers can I get if I continue shopping from here? So there's this kind of whole cyclical, holistic kind of,
Yeah.
approach to offering things like this. And again, I love the idea that you're not just stuck with one. You can
Yeah.
decline the offer and be served up a few. And I think, for me, I've never been offended when it's like, here's 3 months of Apple Music for free. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go.
And so right, once you cycle through the offers, it disappears. For anybody with an international user base, right? So you do half your orders in the US, half your orders in the UK. If the widget identifies somebody as with international shipping, the widget just won't show, right? So it's that
Okay.
simple. It doesn't interrupt. There is a very, very small subset of users. I'm talking very small. Like imagine somebody actually is a customer for every sort of product we advertise. If our algorithm determines like this customer is just not going to engage with anything, it doesn't even show them anything. It doesn't it like
Okay.
it's that personalized. Now, again, that's a very small subset, but it gets to that point, right? If it realizes this person is a bot. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like the person just isn't engaging with anything at all. It won't show. It just won't show an offer. Um,
Yeah, so cool. I mean, again, like this is just such an easy add-on. And again, it's free to use. So I think for me, I think that was kind of the biggest unlock. Again, when we figure out, okay, what else can we do to drive more value? So any plan that you're working with on Rebuy, this is already just kind of a sweet added bonus. And this is not plus exclusive either. So, obviously the higher the order volume, the higher the yield, but I think, it doesn't hurt to be able to add more value like this to your orders, to your customer experience. So yeah. Let's just talk about some of the limitations here. So right now, this is currently North America centric, correct?
yeah, US
Cool.
and Canada.
Okay, amazing.
Even
So,
even for Canada, like the just the advertiser mix, the market isn't as large. So for Canada, the yield is inferior to US traffic.
cool. Yeah, good to know. I mean, again, if you've got any questions about this, so again, for the agencies that are leveraging this, I think it's an easy toggle on if you're already going to be working with Rebuy and really helping with that checkout experience. But if you're curious to see any more examples or case studies or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to our team. Feel free to connect with myself directly. Feel free to connect with Alberto directly. But yeah, I mean, I feel like most of this is going to be viewed post in recording. So yeah, please feel free to reach out with your questions if you want to see anything more in depth. Happy to assist you with that. And also, again, if you want to bake this into your current offering when it comes to how you're implementing Rebuy, we've got some templates and everything that we've already kind of built out that you can provide to your merchants. And as always, like I said, we're here for whatever you need. So yeah, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time today, Alberto, to join me. And we'll be sending this recording out to everyone that registered and our entire partner network as well. So yeah, I anticipate a lot more people seeing the benefits in this. And I think that, the ones that already have, it's pretty magical just to see from toggling something on the additional revenue that's been generated from that. So yeah, any final thoughts?
No, I think like you said, it is, we say it's set and forget. That means set and forget for the merchant, right? You see the revenue coming in. Our team is optimizing at
Yeah.
every level at every so it's obviously not set and forget for us, but for a merchant, that's the point, right? Like set it, it's on your thank you page. You'll see the revenue come in daily. You'll see the checks. It's beautiful. I've been on the receiving side as a merchant. That's what got me into this whole space. Um, so yeah, I again, there it's hard to argue against.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Amazing. Yeah. So yeah, set it and forget it. While you forget it, the Fluent team is continuously optimizing and building and growing and expanding, and the network is growing. So yeah, feel free to reach out with any questions. We're here if you need anything. And until next time, we'll see you on the next roundtable. So thank you for everybody who joined today. Thank you for everyone who will be watching this, in the future, I guess. But yeah, our next roundtable, for those that are curious, we'll be doing it at the end of, we usually do it at the end of every month. Going into BFCM, if there's anything specific that you guys are curious about, I know that we've got a lot of new features that we've just kind of launched. So if there's anything specific that you guys have questions on or want to do a deep dive on, please feel free to reach out to myself and we'll make sure that we could, create some valuable content for you. So yeah, until next time, I'll talk to you soon, Alberto.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks, everybody.
All right, take care.